Okay. So what you can do in the IntelliJ, you can just go to there and create a import that project actually. So you close this project. I'll just close this project. I'll close this project. I'll close all this project because my IntelliJ was having the, and then I say open new, right? So I can open new project. So when I say open new project, it will ask me the path. So the path is in a download and I just take that, right? I just select the folder name, that's all. But I have unpacked the project that was in zip actually. When it downloads, it's a zip. So you unpack it and then you, even you can import the zip file also directly. So once this is imported, you see your project is coming and sitting here, and you'll see a lot of things will start getting happening too quickly. Like all this quickly, it will come in. So here, when you come down here, you see Java, the same thing we were saying here, and you see new application file actually. This is the new project application file. So this is deriving the name from whatever the name we gave it to the package or project in the project artifactory. So this guy has taken that name and added the application.java into it. So it has made my basic file. This is the start place. You remember?
Yeah.
This guy is our friend. This always we have dealt with this guy, right? To start our program. What this guy has done, this generator of the Spring IO generated the class where you can start. So what you do now next, you just go and create a package controller and then create a REST controller class. So how do you do that? Instead, I'll show you the one I have, right? Let me show you the project that already I have it. Is that fine or no?
Yeah, it's okay.
Why is it? Okay, it's not there. Okay. Import. Open. Yeah. Because I want to show you some of the additional things also in the POM file. So in the application file, application.properties, I don't have anything here. But my opinions goes to a Spring Boot from here. So I have taken the same version. So what you see in the Maven is the very top level, you see the project tag. And under the project tag, you see what version of project tag is is basically from the Maven it is being used. So Maven is like a 4.4.0. And then you have parent tag. In the parent tag, all these module names and group IDs and all those things, you write it right here. So you write your group ID, your artifact ID and the version. And then you have a group ID in the common. So this is my common group ID, which is for this project. And sorry, not common, specific to this project. And this is parent project, if any parent project I have. So if anything which is taken as a parent, so the parent of this is like a Spring Boot starter parent project, actually, which is the Spring Boot actually. And then same thing for this project, you have a project name, version, group ID, and artifact ID. Once this is all done, right? This is the properties section where you can add like a key value pair. So this is your key and this is a value. So once you're done with this all, right? Then it's a big segment of a dependencies starts. So in the dependencies, like a plural, you have a lot of dependency tags, like multiple dependency tags. So dependency is basically going to map with the three informations, right? For that means my project also can be used by someone else because my project also have group ID, artifact ID, and version number. If I give these three things to someone else, they can use my project. That's the nature of the microservices. So in the microservices, you break the items small, so that you can again stitch it back when need, and reusability is created actually. So here you are reusing the Spring Boot web starter, right? Starter web actually. This is nothing but the Spring MVC and RESTful web services. And then by default, it will add the testing framework so that you can write some test also, proactively suggesting that, man, you have to write your test cases also. Don't write your code which is not having the test cases. It's a good practice to write the test cases. That is what it's suggesting, but you can simply right now ignore it. There is additional tag that you see, is a scope. Scope is like when you want to use this library, whether you want to use at the compile time, run time, test time, or packaging time. When you package it to no, give it to deployment to the production, should it take along or no? So that all things you put it as a scope. And then you have a build plugin. So build plugin is like, no, how do you want to build this project? So you right side, you will see the Maven, and here you will see the life cycle where you can clean this project. Suppose if running this project has created maybe some directories or files or configuration, you want to reset it, you just double click and say clean. It will start cleaning it. So once the cleaning is done, it will say cleaning successful, the build successful. And then you want to compile the project or you want to package the project. So generally you do the clean and install. So when you install it, basically you are trying to compile and test together.
Okay.
So if there is a test, I don't have a test in the test folder. I might have, but that's not a test cases. This is all commented out. You see, there's nothing in a test case. So coming back, so what is my entry point? This is my entry point, right? Here is the entry point. Spring REST application. You see application.java. That will be the prefix of your starting point. So this is my starting point. You'll see always the same lines like a Spring application dot run, and then inside that you pass the class name, and then whatever the argument you receive in a main, you pass it to here. So this guy is basically saying that this is a Spring Boot application, and saying that is a more than enough to say this is Spring project. This is going to do a lot of the Spring thing. It can bring up some Spring modules. Whatever he writes into this year, just load that module. Just give this to guy, and that is how you get started. The moment you run it, I mean, what I have, I'll show you. So I have a controller which is student controller. So if someone invokes slash students, I'm just going to give the student details actually to him. Okay,
Okay.
is that fine? And if I have any of this, right, coming like, no, with different options, and I have a method. So in the, this is basically a REST controller. You see, it's the REST controller. So I'm making this class as a REST controller. Again, it's the opinionated. So you are telling that, hey, Spring Boot, can you convert my class? When you run it, you convert it to the controller, which is REST controller. So it should support the REST web services. And what is REST web services? REST web services are like a endpoints, HTML endpoints, where endpoints are like URLs. So you give me URL and a contract, like, no, I give you, you remember the interface. So give me that URL, and this is your protocols to follow. Like, no, you will follow the protocol as whether it is a HTTP or HTTPS, or and the methods, like, you know, what kind of methods. So you have a different types of methods. So what can be the methods as a get method, post method, delete method, put method. You see this all. Then you have a head method, patch method, lots of different types of methods are supported for different purposes. So what you can do in a databases, we call it as a CRUD, CRUD, create, read, update,
Okay. delete.
CRUD operations, yes. So you have a CRUD operations associated with this kind. So what you are doing is a read here. So get map is a get method of a HTTP. So HTTP has a 7-8 methods. Out of that, get is one of them, right? So you're asking like, no, when I say slash students, can you return the list of students you have? Please give me all the students you have. And this guy will return you the list of students. And
Students.
if I ask you specific, so this is the placeholder. If I ask you a specific ID, right? No, give me that student only. Don't give me anything else. And if I ask you to delete that one, please delete from the list. If I want to update, maybe I did some of things wrong. Can you update that one? And then I say finally, can you add more student to it? So I give you one student, can you add to your list? No, this is how you insert it. So the CRUD, CRUD,
Use a annotation path variable
path
in
variable, it
placeholders,
will
right?
be here. Yes.
Okay.
Path
What is
variable is equivalent to this. So let's run it and understand how this is mapping. So when I run it, what is the difference between the REST controller and the normal controller? So normal controller is like a MVC controller, and that is that is having the uh, view part, right? So now REST controller doesn't require a view part. It just says I created the service and I don't care who uses it, right? It can be used by any kind of client. So I don't write a client. You decide how you want to consume it. So you write client. I can serve to any, right? So I'll give you the endpoints instead of writing the JSPs or HTML or CSS. I'll not write that. What I'll do is, if you invoke this URL, I'll give you this output in a JSON format. And from there, you take the data and you render, or you render it, or you pass it on a mobile, or you save it in your database, or you do a further processing, you put it in a Kafka. I don't care about it. I just give you the endpoint and it will work very uniform for all the types of clients. Same way. Okay. So now is the time to start the program basically. So you come here, you see the play button, right? Again. So you start run. Once you run it, this program has the embedded Tomcat server. So what it is going to do, it will take this application, and I have a 8080 port already used somewhere, and that application seems to be working. So it's in a use. So what I'll do, I'll opinionate Spring Boot boss. Hey, Spring Boot, my server port
port?
seems to be running on a 8080. So can you do run this project on a 8085 instead of 8080, because that seems to be consumed by someone else. So let my program run on different port. Let's change that. So then Spring Boot will say, okay, I understood. So let me help you. Next time you run, I'll not try to go on a default port 8080. I'll take a 8085 this time. You see, the Tomcat started on a 8085 this time, right? And we see our application has been already deployed because this is running on an embedded Tomcat. It doesn't take a lot of time actually. So you cut short a lot of time from the Tomcat explicit var deployment to the jar deployment, which is happening in the embedded Tomcat. Right? You see the experience has changed completely. So now coming back here, if you're, I have already pre-created these things, right? So you have a 4 operations. You saw
Okay.
that, right? In our, we had a 4 endpoints. So you have a get, add, delete, update, and this all, if I open it, let me open one by one. I need to, I don't know, pin it. So let's go one by one. Why this is not pinning it? Okay, it looks like we have to.
You need to go near body.
Which word? This?
Yes.
No. There is something called pinning. Okay, let's say The problem is this is not pinning it, working in a scratch pad, switch to workspace. Maybe this could be the problem. So this has some sort of issue. Okay, let me add more and open this. Does it happen or no? Probably we'll be able to do it this way. Yeah. Okay. Update, delete, open, and then let me. So get will open now. We have update, get to open, but what about third one? I'm just going to experiment it so that it opens. No, it doesn't open. So let's go one by one. Okay. So when I have a student/student, right now I'm not running in a 8080. So I run on a 8085. So when I send this, basically it has a header and body part. So in a header, I say content type application/JSON, and body, I just put it as a JSON, which is basically matching to the model. I'll explain it. So when I run it, that is saved. Once it's saved, I get a 200 OK at the HTTP. And as a response body, I get the total record in the students. So if I run second time by adding 300 Matthew, and I change in a date of birth year, save it, you see you have two records, right? So when I say I'm done with this, I want a gate one. So if I want gate, for you, once you run it, then it stick to it. Okay, so here in a header, I again send authorization. Why I was sending authorization, it's not needed. So in the body, I don't, so get doesn't take a body, right? Get doesn't take a body. So in the header, I am not putting anything, but it should be automatically taken as a content type JSON. So this is running on a 8080, but I want to change it to 8085 and then get the same details. And when I say 200, so this is path variable. Like when I add any value, it will be added to path variable. Oh, sorry. Path variable is failing because of internal server error. Let's go there and see what happened. Did we hit something? Yes. So there is a problem, no value present. So 500 is something is not present. That's why it's telling that one. If we give 200, that is present. That's correct, right? So we are not handling the error. If you see, we are not handling. This is the exception I was talking other day, not handling. So it has to be handled too, so that we mold the flow and get this one. So suppose in the update, we say we added Mac with the what kind of information. You see, Mac was added. There's no Mac, so Rocky was added with the 200. So now what we want to do is, I want to change the Rocky with Mac and his date of birth to 99. And here in the update, this is put actually, you see put. So 200 is not found. Why so? Just let's see here. 200 is there.
Yes.
But okay, why it's not found, because 8080 is running some other project.
Okay.
It is going to that place. So it says student with ID 200 is updated. If you do the get, you will see the latest one. So now you see 200 is Mac, not Rocky, and his date of birth changed to 99. You get it? So if I want to delete, what if I want to delete? So if I want to delete, I'll just tell which one I want to delete, right? So that is like a delete operation. It doesn't take a payload, or you can put a payload if you want, but for now it doesn't require a payload. So you can just say the ID of it. So this is not, again, this is not a non-existent one. So if I try to delete, it should say student with ID 100 is not found.
Not found.
Yes. So if I give 200, this will say student with ID 200 is deleted. If I come back and try to get it, see,
Yeah.
200 is not there in the list. See that? So
Yeah.
what has happened when you posted? When you posted, it landed up in a controller. And I'm writing everything in a controller right now. But your code should be more distributed. When I will be giving you the demo on the different Spring modules, then you will understand how this basically worked, how that
Yes.
this code has to be distributed in the different models. Actually, you have to write it in a different classes. Okay.
Okay.
So right now, whatever the JSON I'm sending, the JSON is mapped to this. You see the ID, name, address, date of birth. So I'm calling them in a same keywords. So if you go add students, you'll see that ID, name, address, date of birth. These keys are same. You see the Java variables, it's the same. That's why Spring Boot is matching it and then feeding those data there. So from this controller, if I can show from the controller, when you have a post, when you post, you're posting the student directly. Student is that class. You're posting that directly, right? So what it is doing, it is taking this information and converting to the Java object. So JSON to Java is happening, right? Who is doing it? I have not written the code for that. But if you have to do it in a Spring, actually, you have to literally do those things. Got my point? Which Spring Boot simplifies it. Are we good?
Yes. Yes, Neeraj.
So that's all from me. Just start exploring. You download your project, you just write something like this and
Yeah,
then run
sure.
it. Okay. I can check in this code and share you the GitHub link.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, anything else, Nadia?
Nothing as of now.
Okay, hope this helps.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj.
Thanks so much.